What's up everyone, it's your boy X-Manny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends review video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends fan channel exclusive big time Spider-Man action figure review. I want to give a big thank you to my boy Doug for selling this figure to me. Thank you so much, bro. If you haven't, check out his Instagram, give him a follow at thatbatmetal. Link is in the description below. First, we'll talk about this guy for a few, and then we'll take a look at his accessories. Alright, so we finally get our big time, or in this case, about time, Spider-Man, because we finally get an upgraded big time Spider-Man, and I am happy with it, but at the same time, not happy with it, and I'll get in touch with that. First, I would like to thank Shartimus Prime. Let's just take a second and definitely, give him a round of applause, because the man deserves it. He busted his behind with those stop motions. This guy has been trashing this figure for almost a decade, and he put in a lot of work with those stop motions, and they're very enjoyable. But I think without him, we wouldn't see this upgraded version right now. I'll tell you that much. Alright guys, so just to cover this suit for a little bit, Peter Parker pretty much created this suit in Horizon Labs after losing his spider sense, and mainly it was to be a combatant against Hobgoblin's sonic screams. So Peter, being the smart boy that he is, pretty much created a new technology that is omni-harmonic mesh. So the main highlight for the big time Spider-Man here is the neon green, and that is camo mode. So there's, I think, 3 modes. The green is camo mode, the red one is the anti-sound mode, and I think there was a blue one, and I can't remember what the blue one is, so someone remind me in the comments below. This suit pretty much keeps him invisible to both sight and sound. To take a look at the paint and sculpt all around, you can see obviously the colors are in neon green. It looks really, really good though. The old one was just terrible. It wasn't solid black. It was supposed to be solid black, and they didn't. They had like this other shade of green over the neon green, and it was just dark green. There was like barely any black to that suit, so just happy they did it in the correct way. And man, I really like this design a lot. I'm just taking a look at the sculpt. It's basically on the Pizza Spider-Man body mold. Really love this neon green color, and for the most part it is painted pretty solid. I mean, the only issue I've run into is right there, that paint splotch. As you can see, it traveled to his shoulders, down to the bicep, and right there on his forearm and inner forearm. And you got the paint right there on his hands, which is really cool. And moving down, it travels right to his mid-thigh, and everything else is solid black to the feet. And you got these neon green lines right there. And the head is like most of the Spider-Mans we've seen on the Pizza Spidey head, but it's just with the green, and it looks really dope. I like it. It's cool. So just to get my gripes out of the way quickly, the biggest issue I have with this figure is because it's on the same Pizza Spider-Man mold, and just like the Bucky Cap mold, you started feeling that fatigue after seeing it for so long. I'm starting to feel that same effect with these Spider-Man figures that come out. I mean, I'm still waiting for the definitive body of a Spider-Man action figure. So I think the proportions on this Spider-Man is just bad. It looks bad, especially when these thighs are sticking out more than your pelvic and buttocks area, and the lower torso. Like this, all this right here is supposed to have more girth. Your thighs are not supposed to stick out like that, man. That's, you know what I'm talking about? Like, this Scarlet Spider is proportionate when you compare it to this. Look at that, man. Especially since you can't even get a full split with this Spider-Man. Like, come on, guys. You know we should be able to get full splits with Spider-Man. And the fact that this body has been out since, what, 2015? I don't want to go more than half a decade without an upgraded body for Spider-Man. We definitely need something that's superposable and that has almost unlimited type of range. I'm a little let down because, we need to see Spider-Man evolve articulation-wise. Just think overall, this buck is ready to just give out. I mean, so many people had problems with the shoulder butterfly joints here. They were breaking easily. So my biggest gripe is this QC issue that is bothering me, especially when I want to photograph them, is the back ab crunch. Like, you move it, you see this? Hold on. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Boom! You saw that? It spring forward. And this bothers me because if I wanted him to do a backflip, this is what happens. He doesn't stay in that pose, and it's annoying. Like, I would have to literally keep it held like this, bend it so he doesn't spring forward. And same thing with the ab crunch here. Like, lightly, it just stops like this. But if I want it moved down more, I gotta push it harder, and that is annoying. That should not be like this. When you take a look at this Spider-Man, forward, no problem. And as you can see, as I keep moving it back, it keeps springing back. And I am so annoyed. I'm so close to calling this figure the Big Time Caca Spider-Man, because I feel limited in my photography when I'm trying to pose this Spider-Man around. So, yeah, I'm really pissed right now. So, caca. As far as accessory goes, he comes with 2 fisted hands. He comes with 2 thwipping hands. He comes with 2 wall crawling hands. And lastly, he comes with this webbing effect that we've seen before. And you could just loop it around his wrist like so. And put the thwipping hand there. And now you can have your Spider-Man web swinging. And just to show you guys the Peter Parker head on this body, and it looks super cool. Alright, now to cover articulation, Big Time Spider-Man's head moves that far up and that far down. You got left and right movement. You got the whole rocker joint and pivot, so that's dope. Shoulders move that far up, down, all around. You got the shoulder swivel right there. Butterfly rocker joint back and forth. You got the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. You got the wrist swivel, wrist hinge. Ab crunch that moves that far down and that far back. Waist swivel. Legs only move that far apart. His legs move up very high. He could kick his own face. Oh, heel to the mouth. I promise that won't be a new thing. Legs move that far back. His legs rock around. Not that great because these hip joints, they just suck. The thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and you got heel to the butt right there and heel to the back. He's got some crazy leg range right there. Ankles move up that far, down that low, and he has all around ankle pivot. And for some comparisons, here is the Big Time Spider-Man next to my 2 favorite Spider-Man costumes of all time, the classic and the symbiote. And here he is next to the Scarlet Spider cane and the PS4 Advanced suit. Here he is next to Hobgoblin from that same exact story arc. Here he is next to Black Cat, and even though this Black Cat costume is not from the same story arc of this Big Time Spider-Man, I feel like if you could just paint the eyes in black and the fur pieces white, it would go perfectly, especially since this matches that same physique that Black Cat had in that comic book run. Alright guys, I'm trying out a new segment here called On the Shelf. So basically I'm showcasing the figure that I review and showing you how it looks on my shelf. So here is the Big Time Spider-Man next to all his Spider Bros and Spider Sisters, and yeah, it looks freaking dope when you see the whole Spider-Verse goodness all together. So let me know if this is something you would, like to see in future reviews, because then I'll definitely feature more of these if I garner enough interest. So, and if you love it, definitely drop a like. That'll help boost this video and give this segment some exposure. Alright guys, so that was my review of the Big Time Spider-Man, and please don't take my Big Time Caca comment serious. That is not my final rating. I was just frustrated with the lack of, ab crunch, the diaphragm joint, the QC issue that I had there, springing back and forth. That really frustrated me, especially when doing photography. It is a Spider-Man figure, and I want this to have as much range as possible when posing. But with that said, man, it is a much needed upgrade from the last one we got. And if you're, deep in the Spider-Verse, you're invested in that, definitely get this. You don't pass. My thing is, I just want these Spider-Man figures to evolve now in Legends form, I don't want this stupid loop, this handlebar loop anymore. It's getting ridiculous. Maybe get something where, they could have webs sculpted onto the hand for some cool web effects, or something like a super thin loop, kind of like how Mezco and Mafex does their webbing effects. I think it's time to retire this body mold, and it's time for Spider-Man to evolve. Hasbro, if you're listening, please give us the Spider-Man we deserve. Give us import-like articulation on a Spider-Man, and I know you guys can do it. You guys did it with Beast, you know? Give Spider-Man drop down thigh selection. Give him that wide leg movement where he can make a full split. Double ab crunch. The whole nine. Toe articulation if you have to. Just do it and we will appreciate the hell out of it. Alright guys, so drop a like if you liked the video. It'll show your support for my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Comment, we'll chat about it. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Get your big time Spider-Man action figure at Big Bad Toy Store. Link is in the description below. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.